Want to learn how to make $5,000 per month right now? Keep watching. $5,000 per month is close to the median household income. So this could be a way for you to just get an additional job, but without doing the work. So how do you do it? Let's start. Hi, my name is Jose. Welcome to my channel. And as you know, in this channel, we talk about how to grow your money. This includes anything that has to do with investments and money mindset. So in this case, we're going to talk about how to make $5,000 per month on a consistent basis right now. So how do you do it? You can take the road that everybody takes, which is start from scratch, right? So it's not that easy because you're going to have a lot of startup cost. So you have to come up with the idea, you have to set it up, and you have to figure out how to operate. That's the typical way when you think about an entrepreneur, something building from the ground up. But there's another way. What if you think about how to make this money without having to go through the first part, which is like the trials and tribulations, that really difficult first part. So what about a business that already exists? So in this video, we're going to talk about how to obtain businesses that can actually make you at least $5,000 per month. So why is it important to buy a business that already exists? Because this business has already proven themselves. The business has customers, the business has income, and the business has cash flow. So it is an ongoing business. So where do you find this business? Just look around you. They're everywhere. Your job is to find one at the right price that generates your amount of, in this case, $5,000 per month. How do you find these ones? The most common place that you could do is Google it, right? You can Google it and then you're going to find a lot of websites that either can sell you different types of business in a specific niche, or they just sell you everything that is in your city. Literally, you can type, for example, for me, it will be Las Vegas business for sale, and you will get a lot of results. One of the most common ones and the typical ones that people look at is a website called Biz Buy Sell, where you can get a lot of different businesses that are in your current location, and you can get direct access to the owner. So you're gonna, just like you have brokerages for real estate, you're gonna have brokerage for businesses. So in this case, you're gonna be talking directly to an agent, and this agent will have all the information from the business. Now, obviously, just like in any other stuff, you have to do your due diligence. You have to make sure that this business is the right business for you. So how do you determine that? So you determine that by figuring out what you can bring to the table. Maybe you have experience with accounting. Maybe you are a software engineer, just like I was, or still are, from your current job. Or you have another skill. Maybe you have a marketing skill. So figure out what you're good at, because you are gonna be able to find things that you can improve. You're gonna be able to find and identify the value that you can bring into that new business rather quickly. Easier path is to go into a business that you understand, right? So you have to make sure that you understand the market too. There's a lot of people doing vending machines, right? Vending machines is a really, like, there's some operations going and you have to attend to them every so often to make sure that they keep generating the revenue, and then you have to go get your inventory. Right, so those are the things that you don't really need a lot of experience with that, because you can just kind of run with it. You have to find these businesses, one, and two, contact the owners or the agents, and now that you understand the market, understand why they're selling, if you found them in that way. So why is it important to understand why they're selling? Because that's where you can know whether it is a failing business, because you have to be careful with that. You don't want to buy something that is going in the wrong direction if you can fix it, or if it's something that, you know, maybe they're looking for retirement, or maybe they are going through some personal issues, or they just want to venture into something else, right? So there are different ways for you to identify that. Clearly, with an interview, a seller interview, you can get all of these questions answered. Obviously, the most important part is the finances. So when you're looking at the finances, always trust but verify. So if they tell you that this business makes in revenue $10,000 a month, make sure that you get all the forms, the tax forms that actually show that. So you have to make sure that you're gonna get something in return, which is the cash flow that you're looking for. So one of the ways for you to understand this is to understand how they're evaluating their company. Some people do it based on the revenue of the last 12 months, or based on the revenue of the last 5 years. Also, because we just recently are still going through a sort of event, you may call it, which is the COVID-19. So make sure that you understand if that business was affected by it on the upside, because we're not going to have COVID-19 forever. So if your goal is to keep the business for a long time, make sure that you keep that into consideration for that valuation. The other way is for you to understand how they're making their money. So if you've watched Shark Tank before, you will see that they ask him, what about sales? What about sales? How do you do it? What's your customer acquisition cost? So those are the type of questions that you yourself have to also ask. How are they making money? Do they have a website? So it's an e-commerce website, or do they do email marketing? Really understand how they're making their money and make sure that you know how much the percentages, right? You don't have to know exact numbers on which one it is, because you will know which channel is the most important for the survival of that business. Another thing that you have to look at is comparables. So has another business been sold? This is going to be a little harder for you to find out on your own, because these are not really put out to the public as much. Then when you're looking at buying a business, you also have to understand, what are your risks? Are there any blind spots in this business? Is the business mainly running based on that particular owner? Then when the owner removes himself or herself from the business, will the business still have the retainment of customers? Okay, so now let's talk about money. Because you are buying a business, you're required to give something, right? It's not free. And I'm not saying you need to put money, I'm just saying it's not free. Two different things. So how do you finance this? You finance it many different ways. The simplest way is, if you have money, you just invest it. Invest the money and buy the business outright. Or you can get a business loan, right? And a business acquisition loan. There are multiple ones. You can go into your favorite bank and ask them about all of their options, right? And there are also a separate entity called SBA, Small Business Administration, that they offer loans to for specific businesses. Think about this. If you're buying a business that is $1 million, you only have to put $100,000. So it's not that much. So $1 million business has to be generating some profits. If the profit of this business is $300,000 a year, you will technically make your down payment within a year. Tell me a stock that can do that. So buying a business, an already established business, has its advantages, because you don't have to go to the startup stage. You don't have to go and create relationships with the suppliers or build a network, because all of that will come with the business already. You have a lot of options when it comes down to this. The other one could be just creating financing, where the seller will take on a loan. It will take on a loan that will be the value of the property. I'm such a real estate investor. the value of the business, and then you will pay just the down payment that you both agreed upon. The other way could be equity split. The owner doesn't really want to sell everything, right? They don't want to lose their golden goose egg. So you could do some type of split where you will buy half the business, or 30% of the business. The owner keeps the other percentage. So you could do something like in Shark Tank, where they do royalties, right? So you can buy the business from the owner, where the owner will take royalty percentage up to a certain amount. And then, you know, the difference or whatever you guys agreed upon could be a percentage, could be 10% of the business, 10% equity, or simply 5% equity plus some cash. It could be anything. It really could be anything. It's the beauty of it. You just build it. You create the structure you want, and then you offer it, and you agreed on it. But you have to make sure that you're not over leveraging yourself personally, one, and two, you're not overstating the future profits of that business. So make sure that you're not doing this wrong, right? Like if you're gonna do leverage, do it correctly. If you're gonna do any type of other personal note or anything for that business, so make sure that you're covered yourself financially. Don't just go and, you know, risk the house. I'm not telling you to do that. At the end of the day, you don't want to have to live a stressful life just because you have more stuff, like more businesses that generating you money. You want to live a life that you are happy with. This idea is just to make sure that you grow your wealth. This idea is to make sure that you understand that there are other options to grow your wealth. It's not just put it in the real estate market, risk it in cryptocurrency, oh, Bitcoin goes up and down. There's other options. There's other options, and you can take advantage of this. You, for your own future, for your own family, for your net worth. You can take advantage of this. I'm doing this myself as well. And right now, one of the funniest things that I'm actually gonna try is gonna try 2 small, very small business ideas. I'm gonna try it for like 3 months and see what happens, and I'll let you know in 3 months if those businesses were successful, and I will let you know if I failed too. Stay tuned and make sure that you understand there are many different ways to grow your wealth and to generate cash flow. And all of this has to be for your better life and for your better future. And remember that. This is Jose. Thank you for watching, and I'm done speaking. Bye.